you're sitting in like a holding area. They ended up calling me. There were two spots left. Blake had just spilled his team, which I was an Oklahoma girl. He was the Oklahoma boy. And so going into it, I was like, it would be kind of cool to be on Blake, but I honestly just wanted a chair turn. I did not care. So Kelly ended up turning, which to this day, she's my favorite in the world, and Gwen. And I was on Team Kelly for the first part, and then Blake for the second half of my time on the show. I'm Gracee Shriver, and this is Becoming Famous with Jacy on Valeras.
Gracee Shriver, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to talk with you. Right before we started recording, I was saying everyone at your PR team is on fire about you and your new music. You have so many exciting things going on, and I'm really excited to talk with you about all of it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they're the sweetest, so I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, you first came to America's attention in a big way when you were on The Voice, but that's not really where your career started. What were your first early thoughts about being in the music industry?
Yeah, so I started singing when I was about 9. My sister actually was the one that got put in singing lessons, and I took over because she hated it. And it just kind of went from there. My grandpa and grandma and that whole side of the family on my mom's side is super musical. So I grew up just, our family reunions were playing guitar and bluegrass music. Of course, coming from Oklahoma, country music was really in the roots. So it kind of just took off, and I started singing at church and then, at the local barbecue restaurant, and then it came into venues. And by the time I was 12, my parents were driving me all over the country to play shows, and it just never stopped.
It's so interesting because a lot of artists today don't get their start like that. That's how, when we were all coming up, the artists that have made huge records in the 90s and in the 2000s, they all got started like that, doing gigs, playing at
Yeah.
church around their local areas. But a lot of artists don't get started like that now. They start on TikTok or, just doing open mics or something.
My great grandpa, he used to be the entertainment at this theme park called Silver Dollar City. And it's in Missouri, it's in Branson. If you're from the South, they've probably heard of it.
Yep.
And so I grew up going there and watching those shows. And then, like I said, my grandpa, he had my great grandpa's passed down guitar that had thanks on the back of it. And so I just kind of grew up seeing that and loved going to concerts and things. So when I started singing and I started writing songs, I think it was like a weird thing, and I can't even explain it, but it's just I never thought to do anything different. Like it was just in my blood, in my veins. That's what I was gonna do, and I never quit. I don't know if there was one pivotal moment that made me want to go further. I think it was just that's what I was gonna do, you
Yeah.
know? Which seems, I guess, like being that little and naive, you don't realize all of the jumps you'll have to go through to make that happen. But you just go, I was like, I had fun doing it and I loved writing music. So I just wanted to make that a lifestyle.
At what point did you start writing?
I started writing when I was 9. My mom actually, she laughs because she's like, I remember like sitting by the pool in the backyard and you came out with your guitar and you're like, Mom, I was like, Mom, I have this song to show you, whatever. Started playing it. And then she was like, oh, where'd you hear that? And I was like, no, I wrote it. And it's funny because I still, that was when like the iPod touches were like a little thing. So I would have the voice recordings of it. So I have all of those, which is hilarious. But it just was what I was, wanted to do. So I just went inside and wrote.
Do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
Yes, it was actually a song about my mom. Me and my sister, we wrote a ton of songs growing up, but I have one in particular called I'll Be There For You that I wrote when I was like 9. And my mom to this day is like the best song ever written.
That's amazing.
Yes, I'm not very good, but yes.
Hey, we all have to start somewhere.
I know.
Eventually, you decided to audition for The Voice.
Yes.
Talk a
Yes.
little bit about that experience and what you took away from being in that kind of a position and that, in the position where you're in front of millions of people who are watching you and listening to your music. What did you take away from that experience?
Yeah, so I wanted to audition when I was like 14. I'm pretty sure maybe they changed it to 13 now, but whatever the youngest was.
Yeah.
And my dad kind of was like, he was kind of the gruff cowboy that was like, you need a childhood, and they took me everywhere to sing. So he's like, just enjoy it. So I kind of pushed it back and made a compromise when I was 16. They let me, and I auditioned and got the call back that, they wanted to push me through the rounds or whatever. Ended up making it on the show. My audition was kind of crazy because they don't show this part of it, but you're basically living in a hotel room for months leading up to the show. And you don't really know, even when you get the okay that you're on the show and live there for a month, you don't know if you're actually going to get an audition. So I lived there with my mom because I was a minor. And by the last day of auditions, because it's like you never know which day you're going to go, they only had, I think, 8 chairs left that morning when I went into the room, and they had over 30 people that hadn't gone yet. So, yeah, so it was kind of crazy. So then I was sitting in that, like you're sitting in like a holding area. They ended up calling me. There were 2 spots left. Blake had just spilled his team, which I was an Oklahoma girl. He was the Oklahoma boy. And so going into it, I was like, it would be kind of cool to be on Blake, but I honestly just wanted a chair turn. I did not care. So Kelly ended up turning, which to this day, she's my favorite in the world, and Gwen. And I was on Team Kelly for the first part, and then Blake for the second half of my time on the show. I was top 12. It was honestly the coolest experience. You learn a lot. I laugh now looking back. My mom and I both were like, I don't know if I would my own 16-year-old go on it. I think it's kind of like, it's a rush of the harshness of the industry.
Mhm.
And for like a young kid that's still kind of, dealing with insecurities or different things, it's just a lot to be exposed to at one time. But I definitely made lifelong friends and connections. I wouldn't trade anything that happened, but yeah, it was a whirlwind to say
Yeah.
the least.
How do you deal with the pressure of an experience like that, knowing every single time you perform, you have to show up 100%, and if you don't, your experience there could be over?
Yes, and in front of like people that you looked up to and were your inspirations, and America, which I know when you tell a 16-year-old like 11 million people are watching you tonight, it's like, okay, I know. Immediately you're like, wait, that made me feel great. I think honestly, my mom, it was a blessing that she could be there with me for sure, but I think just going into it every single day, she was like, listen, God put you here to do this. If you weren't supposed to be here, you wouldn't be here. So just enjoy it, because every night could be your last night. And at the end of the day, I can only do the best I can do.
Yes.
So just a lot of prayer and just kind of just leaning back on like, I'm me, and America's either going to like it or not. And I can't change that. So it's some ups and downs to navigate.
I feel like that's a great lesson, though, just to take into the music industry as a whole. It's like some people are going to love you and they're going to be your fans, and some aren't, and that's okay. It's okay to
Yes.
find your people. Speaking of that, you have released a ton of music over the course of the last few years. So I'm curious, if someone was a new fan and had never listened to your music before, what song would you tell them to go listen to that really demonstrates you as an artist, a writer, a vocalist? What would be that one song?
That's a tough one. I don't know if I'm just partial to it because I just released it. But I just released a song called Rich.
Yeah.
Writing wise, I like it really tells like part of my story. So I think I'm kind of partial to that. But also I love a good sense of humor. Like I grew up in like a bantering family. That's really my vibe with music. And so Yodelay Hee Ho that I have out and released, that might be like my favorite to perform. And I think like it gives a vibe of me.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
I I want to talk about social media too, because it plays such a big role in an artist's career nowadays. You have a lot of really cool content, and your music videos are really over the top with glitter and the energy and all of that. So how do you feel about social media? Do you look at it as just like a part of the job, or do you really enjoy getting in there and kind of sharing that experience from a personal aspect with your fans?
Yeah, that's a good question because I think at first I did. I was like, I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm trying to be a singer. But then it kind of just, I came to the realization when I was in kind of in that pit of like, well, this is what it is, and I can either embrace it and use it to show more parts of me. I
Mhm.
think at first I was too worried about it being perfect. And then when I started just being me and I was like, here's the good stuff, here's the bad stuff, and I really formed like more of a connection with fans, I started to really like it. Now I wake up and I'm like, what can I tell them today or do whatever. So I
Yeah,
like it now.
it forms a closer bond for sure with the fans who otherwise wouldn't have the chance to know you so intimately. It's actually a
Yeah.
really cool tool. Who are some of the artists that you follow on social media that you just love connecting with their content?
Yeah, that's a good question. I love lately, I've been loving I love Kelsey Ballerini's content. I think she does a really good job at being authentic with her followers for sure.
Mhm.
She shows the good, bad, and ugly, which I really do think makes a difference. People that are too polished all the time, and which is what I kind of had to be in the beginning, was there's a disconnect, because not anyone's polished all the time.
Right.
And I think Dylan Marlowe and his wife, they're precious to follow too, and they're real to their story, young, married. So just people like that are so relatable.
Yeah. You had the chance to walk your first red carpet at a
Yes.
very special event. Talk about that experience.
Oh my goodness. That was just a pinch me moment. Dolly has been one of my I've looked up to her since I was itty bitty. Songwriting and the glam, like you said, I love the glitter. I'm not afraid of the glitter. That was a surreal moment when my publicist team over there, Scott, called me and he was like, hey, they're interested in having you walk the carpet. They'd love for you to walk, and Dolly's walking it, and you'll get to see the musical. I just got married as well, so I'm 22, he's 23, and we moved out here, so we're kind of kids figuring it out too. So I was like, ran into our one bedroom apartment, and I was like, we're walking the red carpet. So it was just a crazy, surreal night. Got to play dress up and do all of that, which was, I mean, it'll go down as a bucket list memory for sure.
Yeah, your content surrounding it was awesome. I loved seeing your
Thank
excitement
you.
about trying on your dress and all of that. It's such a cool place. Nashville is amazing. What is your favorite part about being here in Nashville and living this lifestyle?
Yeah, I think like just that everyone gets it, if that makes sense. Whether they're an influencer in music, an actress, they get it. It's kind of cool to get to walk around and just be surrounded, even doing podcasts and like all of those kinds of things. Everyone understands it and it's just normal and talent. I love being surrounded by talent that pushes me for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there is so much talent here. I want to talk about your new single, Living Proof, because there is such a cool story that goes behind this. You wrote it for a really special reason and surprised your brand new husband. So tell me all about that.
Yeah, so we're high school sweethearts. So, oh goodness, we started dating when we were like 14. And for anyone that's a songwriter, I guess I shouldn't speak for everyone, but for majority, breakup songs are just way easier. And you can kind of get the revenge and there's more, but I wasn't a big love songwriter and he always was like, "Hey, write a song about me, whatever." So when we were getting married, I was like, okay, I really need to sit down and do this. And I'd had this idea in my notes for a while. So I sat down with Mitch Crago from Universal Publishing and my best friend Callie. And I was like, I want to write this. And so we did it. Came out super quick, really just special moment. And so I got to surprise him with it. He thought we were dancing to a Brad Paisley song, which was one of my favorite songs. And I was like, okay, hopefully he'll be okay with this. So it was fun to get to surprise him and his family with that too.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's a great song. And I feel like because it has that special connection to you personally, fans are really going to resonate with it even more.
Yes, no, for sure. I'm so excited for that one to come out. It comes out September 5th. So
That's awesome. I want to talk about some of your goals for the future. We've talked a lot about what you've done. Who are some of the people that you would love to collaborate with one day? Like who's your dream duet partner?
on it, that's a great question. On this might shock some people, but I love rock music. I had to have a raspy low voice.
Yeah.
So I love that side. Chris Stapleton on the country rock vibe. I am obsessed with his voice. So he would be one for sure. I would also say just like I'd love to do like this is random, but like a journey or like Joan Jett. Like I love that. And last but not least, I'm putting this out there, Miley Cyrus. Love the girl. I'm obsessed. Miley would be a dream.
I can hear that too. Your voices would totally complement each other. That's super cool.
Yes, she's amazing.
As far as writing is concerned, who's like a dream co-write of yours?
Ooh, I would say, goodness. I mean, probably Chris as well, but some of the new guys are really killing it right now.
Mhm.
Um, or Ella Langley. Ella would be a really, she has some edge to her too. That'd be fun.
Yes, great choices all around. Let's just put that out into the
I
universe.
know.
See what we can make happen for you.
Yes, for sure.
All right, well, when you're not busy doing singing stuff, writing, all of that, what do you do? What's your favorite thing to just do as a person on a day off?
Yes, I love like water sports and running. Two really like odd things, but we are an outdoors family. Love to hunt, love water sports. I'm like the son my dad never had. So we're definitely like that in my sparkly boots, but also in my camo. Those would probably be the two things that I do outside of music.
That's awesome. That's like a little Lainey Wilson vibe going on.
I know. Yes.
Amazing. Well, what do you have coming up over the next 6 months to a year that fans can get excited about? I know the new single Living Proof is about to come out. What else can fans expect from you?
Yeah, so I have a lot of stuff going on with that, which is really exciting, and some big surprises coming out. Music videos coming with that as well. I'm also doing some Christmas stuff, which is my favorite holiday, so that's awesome, and a really fun project coming out in February. So I have next several months planned out, also tours. We're going back to Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas City, and all around. So I'm excited. It'll be a good next few months for sure.
I'm so excited for you. Your energy is amazing, and I cannot wait to hear all the new stuff that you put out. Thank you so much, Gracee, for taking the time to talk with me about it
And
all.
thank you. You're amazing. And also, you just have the most stunning, beautiful hair, by the way. I just
Oh my
like,
gosh.
I
Well,
was like,
thank
your
you.
hair is stunning.
I was thinking that about you as I was interviewing you. I was like, oh, I wish my hair could do what hers is doing, but
No,
thank you.
it's fake. So don't be jealous of that. No, thank you so much. I
Of
appreciate you having me.
course, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Congratulations.
Seriously, it
Oh
means
my
the
God.
world. I
No,
appreciate it.
I'm like a fan. I love your song Rich and like
Oh,
yeah, it's
thank you.
definitely for sure. Thank you so much for taking the time and I cannot wait to hear your new stuff and when you have like even more out, we'll do another interview. Maybe we
Yes,
can do one in person too. That would be super fun.
I would love that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Miss Jacy. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks so much and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.